After an incredibly difficult race at Imola last time out in this F1 24 career mode, we come now to the Monaco Grand Prix in hopes of resetting and bouncing straight back as a team at Red Bull Ford, because last time out, well, yeah, it wasn't ideal, let's say. Max Verstappen really unfortunately having that engine failure straight off 5 red lights on the red flag was just an abysmal bit of luck. And for us at that point, already the race had gone down the toilet with the massive amount of damage we faced with that head-on collision. But if there was ever a choice of what track I would go to next after a difficult race like that to reset and go again, it wouldn't be the Monaco Grand Prix, because this is going to be very difficult if we don't qualify well, and that is the name of the game here. It is the most important qualifying of the entire season, more so than any other F1 game as well on F1 24, because it is incredibly difficult to overtake at any circuit on this game with the DRS training, etc., especially for the AI on AI. So more so than ever, it is important to qualify well, because it may well set up most of the race in terms of maybe the only overtaking that gets done is on strategy, and even that may be quite straightforward. But let's see, first laps under our belt were slower than both Ferraris, and we know they've been struggling so far this season, so that is definitely not a great sign of things. But that was also just maybe a first slow lap for me. I think we can definitely find a bit more time in Sector 1 trying to wrestle the car through. But the Williams cars are looking strong, Haas as well, so we may be in for a bit of a surprise. But for me, P9, we have to be going quicker. It's a yellow first sector though, green in the second, nearly up by half a second, but then losing a crucial amount of time in the last sector as the rear end squirrels away. This Red Bull Ford really felt like we were driving it from the rear, like the entire center of weight and gravity was just totally rearward. So difficult to get the nose in, which is very odd considering F1 24's handling. But yeah, just not a lap that we needed. We needed more from that. We are ahead of both Ferrari cars, but it's only P7 at the moment as we park up, and there is no time left. So this is going to be a big mystery of where we end up. Right now, we are in P7, our hopefully lucky number P7 slot, but as we are wheeled into the garage, others are on their flying laps. You can actually hear some of them going past the swing pool section, and just as we enter the garage, you can see the icon has changed, and eventually the lower third will come through to confirm. Oh boy, we're in P12. That is the... oh lord, Verstappen's not even in the top page. Oh wow, what a cataclysmically bad Monaco qualifying. I jinxed it. I said we had to bounce back, and we've not done anything like that. I mean, Esteban Ocon, let's just talk about that for a second. Ocon on pole position with BMW Williams. Piastri on the second row. Both Toyotas, neither of them on the front row. They're on the second row. So what unbelievable laps from Ocon and Piastri individually, because both of their teammates, a little bit down the order. Albon in P5, but especially for Hulkenberg down in P14. So Piastri, extra special lap from him compared to his teammate. And with that poor qualifying, I mean, that was all in the context of actually earlier in the race weekend, before going into the Monaco Grand Prix, we actually got met with a secret meeting. And this meeting was from our old team, Toyota. The temptations there, you know, they are obviously the best team. They are dominating so far, but of course we left Toyota for a good reason, to do a job, to face a challenge, and not just take the really easy route of taking the best team ever, and having a little bit of difference. Because if we hadn't left Toyota, there may have not been a single driver transfer in this entire season. So as much as it was tempting, we declined the talks, also in a bid to get more recognition in this Red Bull Ford team. Remember, we can't unlock the last upgrades until we get 60% recognition, so that may help us slightly in the recognition game, but I actually doubt any team is going to be doing any upgrades this season in terms of that recognition. And really, looking at this standings chart, I mean, Imola is going to be a real blip. I hope it's a real blip, but Monaco may just be another blip, as both myself and Verstappen have plenty of making up to do come race day.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars will climb around 40 metres up the hill, past the casino, and then descend towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of 19 corners, and don't expect to see much overtaking here today. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Esteban Ocon lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Tsunoda, Albon, Behrman, Norris, Leclerc, Perez, Stroll, Sainz, a Red Bull, Fernando Alonso, Hülkenberg, Sargent, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Russell, Zhou, and Frederick Vesti. And now it's time to head down to the track.
It is going to be, of course, a pretty straightforward strategy here around the Monaco Grand Prix, medium to hard compound. So in terms of what we can do from P12, what can Verstappen do from, I don't even know where he is because he was off the first page of results in qualifying, bless him. You know, it's going to be about the first opening lap or two. You know, we know we can make some moves maybe in those first 2 laps, but then it is going to be a battle of attrition, really, and kind of, you know, maybe who's too stubborn to pit first, who can make that, you know, early pit stop work maybe. Traffic's going to come into play for sure. I suppose away from our race and the kind of strategy thinking is the interest will be at the front. The top 2 cars, unfortunately we're not one of them, Ocon and Piastri on the front row. Is this going to be another non-Toyota win? And is it going to be a brand new team here in this year's Formula 1 grid? Could it either be Haas Cadillac or BMW Williams? Let's see. They're going to have 2 very quick cars right behind them, but it's difficult to overtake, as always here in the Principality of Monaco, as we go to 5 red lights, and we're on the way to shocking start for Carlos Sainz. The Ferrari pretty much was standstill off the lights, as it's side by side now for Norris, Leclerc, Perez, Stroll, as Piastri has overtaken Ocon for the lead of this race. Ocon down to second. We're trying to maybe make something work on Perez and Stroll, but 3 wide was never going to work into Casino Square. It might work down into Mirabeau. We go for it, but that is also just not going to work out for us. 3 into 1 anywhere around Monaco is pretty much impossible, and we got the short straw. Even though I was the one that made the dive bomb, I was getting completely pushed into the wall by Perez because he's too busy fighting Stroll. Oh, wow! Perez clouts the wall with his rear tyre, and to be honest, I've seen so many AI do this in the race so far and in qualifying. It seems like these AI have no spatial awareness as Stroll hits the wall. What is going on with the AI today on F1 24 in Monaco? They've got no spatial awareness of their own car. So many of them keep hitting these barriers with their rear tyres. It's almost like the hitbox detection in their own AI brain is kind of broken a little bit as we now try and make a move on the outside of Stroll, who hits the wall and hits us. We play ping pong at the final corner in Monaco, and there's a huge pile-up. Safety car is out. Even better, red flag is out at Monaco. It's an early red flag, which actually annoyingly means the strategy is even more simple. It'll probably be hard to the end of the Grand Prix, but let's look at a replay. First of all, the race start, because big kudos and, fair dues to Oscar Piastri. Beautiful little overtake off the 5 red lights to get his Haas into the lead of this race. Ocon slots in second. Then you got the Toyota of Hamilton, I believe, Tsunoda fending off the other BMW Williams. Ollie Behrman, I think, in the high-tech car, quite high up there, closing in behind. And then you've got, obviously, Norris, Leclerc. This was the 3-wide moment between myself, Perez and Stroll. And there's quite a few 2-wide 2s. You can see Verstappen's actually going down the inside of someone at the hairpin, that was. But this is the onboard of all these guys. Is just very, very odd. Hitting the rear end for Perez there. And then here for... I mean, Stroll just drove into the barrier. He had so much room to work with. Here's the onboard from Hulkenberg behind. Look at this space that Stroll has between him and me. And look at the turning angle. He is quite literally just aiming for the inside barrier and not even trying to make the corner. I spoke about just before this, and then this was the unfortunate thing. I tried to get through. I thought I could escape Stroll, but he just bounced off into my car. But I spoke about the AI hitbox being a little bit broken because they kept hitting their rear end. I wonder if just something was a bit dodgy with the coding with the AI when I was doing this race today, because Stroll just turned straight in like his front end was miscalculated. They seemingly are miscalculating where their rear end is every time. So I wonder if the game is just maybe a little bit broken today for the Monaco Grand Prix. I mean, let's see how the rest of the race goes. We go on for now another set of 5 red lights. Like I said, probably now most of us will be going on hard all the way to the end of the race as we go to 5 red lights once again. And of course, this is another chance to make up some position. So desperation is there to make a large dive bomb down 1, 2 cars. We've got Leclerc, we've got Perez. It was inches away from the wall on the left-hand side, but we really kept our foot in. Behrman side by side with Albon, the high-tech GP car, is going to try and overtake the Williams. We're going to move from left to right, trying to find some space on the outside of Mirabeau. We're really sending it now on these guys, because I just know this is the only lap we can probably make an overtake, especially now on hards. Myself and Norris just about making it through. He hits the wall though, and Norris, he's all over the place, and he's hit the wall on the inside, and he's sheared his tyre off. What is going on, man? What is going on? Red flag again. A second red flag in this Monaco race. We have not even done a full racing lap of this track, and we've got 2 red flags now. I'm sorry now. This has convinced me. The AI, they were broken in this race. Their hitbox detection, their just spatial awareness calculations were just so wrong. Because look at this. Lando's AI already hit the wall once, then he hits the wall again. Look, there's so much room that I gave him on the inside, and he just turned into the wall. And there's a massive pile-up. Verstappen's going to get caught up in that, and that's a massive shame. And to be fair, we got lucky. Lando almost took us out by bouncing off the right wall into us. But I genuinely felt like I gave him a lot of room to work with. He had already hit the wall once anyway, like I said, and you've seen it with your own eyes. Multiple times these AI have been just hitting the wall on their own accord, like AI on AI battles, and they've been hitting the wall. So this is a very peculiar Monaco Grand Prix race as we now get a really bad start. It's 4 wide into turn 1. We get pinched by Perez and Albon. So not only are these AI just on something extra special to make them behave like this, they're now being uber aggressive as I just about make an overtake on Leclerc to retake P8, but we've lost 2 positions. Albon gets a penalty, I suspect, for squeezing us out, and the contact he made for us is no way, no way. The gearbox has just come up as yellow. It's gone away now, but I can't believe it. You're making this up. What a chaotic mess of a Monaco Grand Prix. It's lap 6 only. We've had 2 red flags. There's been multiple AI crashes, and now I've got a gearbox failure. All in 6 laps. What? Piastri leads from Ocon, Tsunoda, Hamilton. Verstappen's way down. You're in P11, but the unfortunate thing is we don't know how this race will end with this simulation. I really wish you could watch simulated races, but we're not going to get the chance. Piastri's leading, but I have a suspicion he won't be by the end of this, but that is our race over. We can't do anything about the mechanical failure. That is predetermined. You cannot change that no matter what. And so thus concludes the messiest and chaotic Monaco Grand Prix I've ever seen.
And as we've said so many times in the past, the checkered flag is out for our winner, Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, it's just such a shame, isn't it? I hate this part of the F1 game when you have DNFs, which are obviously realistic. I like the fact you can have DNFs, but I don't like the fact that the simulated races are never realistic to what the actual race was looking like. Toyota win again. Hamilton gets the win to pounce back a little bit at Tsunoda. So that's at least good for the championship battle from an outside perspective, seeing the 2 Toyotas very close on points. But what a shame for Piastri and Ocon, who aren't even on the podium. Ollie Bearman got a simulated podium, just showing how actually genuinely good Bearman is now in this career series. But big shame for them. Big shame for me, of course, that we didn't even get past a 6th lap of this Monaco Grand Prix. Absolute mess. Absolute mess. The AI were on something today, and my gearbox clearly was as well, as it seized up. But to be honest, with the way that race was going, it may have just been absolute misery in terms of just constant knocks by the AI, because they just clearly were a little bit odd in the coding today, as I've said multiple times. Guys, nonetheless, if you have enjoyed the episode, you know, we're keeping it real here with the career mode. Whatever happens, happens. Hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly full-on content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.